Welcome back for another video. I'm Ehabad, a free-to-play endgame player in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to take a look at the Magma Dragon boss, and the approaches I took to beat it when I first cleared it. If we start with the mechanics of the boss, we need to bring Provoke champions to maintain Provoke at all times. Warchief is the absolute MVP for this, but Sentinel is great as a rare as well. Black Knight, Seeker, Husk, and Versolf are all excellent as A1 provokers. You can use champions with A2 or A3 provokes, but you will find these less consistent and you'll need to bring more provoke champions to keep it up 100% of the time. For the highest stages, we do need decrease attack. Even when the boss is provoked, he hits hard, and you'll likely struggle to sustain without decrease attack on. We must avoid HP burn champions as the boss converts HP burn into continuous heals. Poison does work well, as does enemy max HP. Otherwise, we can rely on War Master and Giant Slayer to get the job done. We can also bring buffs to help us mitigate damage, such as increased defense, strengthen, shields, veil, etc. When I first cleared the boss, I didn't have anyone to reliably put out decrease attack on a magic champion, so I had to use Vizier. There are many champions in the game that can bring decrease attack, so it really just depends on what you have available. An ally attacker will also help if you're bringing champions with provoke and decrease attack on the A1. My Seeker is currently built for an unkillable clan boss team, so really doesn't have the defensive stats or accuracy for this boss. So instead, I will showcase with Sentinel. In this team lineup, I have Sentinel as an A1 provoker, who will be my main provoke champion. Husk also has an A1 provoke and will be my secondary provoke champion. I'm hoping between the two of them I will keep provoke up at all times. But the team overall has enough sustain and redundancies to survive even if provoke doesn't stay on 100% of the time. I have Rectodrath and Syl to bring the sustain and the heals, and Jareg brings decrease attack on the A1. Jareg's also going to bring a continuous heal whenever the provoker takes a hit, because his passive will kick in, and also has increased defense and ally protection to help spread the damage around, and Rectodrath with the veil will also help reduce the damage. So overall this team is fairly balanced. There's no weak affinity, and it won't be the quickest run, but it will get the job done. All of these champions are completely interchangeable, and it's whatever you have on your account, as long as you're following the basic rules for the boss, which is bring provoke champions, bring heals, bring decrease attack. You'll get the job done. Let's get into the run and see how it plays out. Let's take it off auto, try and get some stuns out from Syl. To be honest, we could leave it on auto, as we just need to get through these waves. So I'll put it back on auto, and I'll just keep an eye on the two Duchesses. In the second wave, we'll just click on the Duchess to make sure we take her down first. as we're approaching the end of the second wave, we'll just take it off auto and manual the end of it. With Rector Drath, we'll get our Veil up. With Syl, we can just A1. With Sentinel, we'll A1, get the Provoke up, which is what we wanted, and now we'll just look for a decrease attack from Jareg. And then with Husk, we can go for a damage hit. Syl will just keep damaging using the passive to keep us topped up. We'll keep trying to get decrease attack, make sure that's on the boss. Gets the continuous heal from Jareg's passive. Decrease attack still on the boss, so I'll take this opportunity to put increased defense on everyone. Get the Veils up again, a bit more damage mitigation. Try and get the Provoke off. We miss, we'll try the Provoke with Husk. We did fail, so we'll take a big hit. You know, we've got 85% on Sentinel and 2 decent proc chances on Husk's double hitter, but you could still miss them. But with decrease attack up there, even a single miss, you know, we've got so much healing, so much sustain, damage mitigation in this comp that we should be in a good spot. Then really it's just about cycling these abilities the entire time, you know, just keep doing the same thing until the boss is dead. It's really as simple as that, as long as you've got the right setup. Keep just looking to get the provokes, decrease attack, heals, damage mitigation. So we'll just put it onto auto now, and we'll just watch the run play out. We missed another provoke there, but as you can see there's enough redundancy within this team to survive the occasional miss of provoke. As long as we're keeping that decrease attack on, and we've got so much healing between Rector Drath and Syl. We've got 2 revivers as well if anyone does get really unlucky and you know the boss does manage to kill someone. We have 2 people that can bring them back. You know, and as we discussed before the fight, in terms of what we could bring to the boss to speed this up, obviously if we had someone bringing decreased defense, you know, maybe we'd bring Tyrell or Duk the Pierced instead of Jareg. That would certainly speed things up. Getting a decreased defense on the boss would help. Equally, we could bring in some strong poisoners, you know, even Frozen Banshee does very well against this boss. If you are lucky enough to have a War Chief, the fact that War Chief can maintain the provoke by himself 100% of the time really frees up the rest of the slots. You can bring so many different champions to bring, you know, much more damage oriented team compositions when you know you only need one champion to reliably maintain the provoke at all times. Also means the rest of your champions don't need to have anywhere near as much sustain. there you have it. By no means quick, but it was a very safe run. We were never really in any danger, even when we had slightly worse RNG and the provokes weren't always landing. We were always comfortable. We were never in any danger of failing. You could full auto it and be fairly comfortable. Right, if we take a look at the champions and the builds, still the important bits for this boss is good speed. Ultimately, the accuracy is not high. We only really need Syl land debuffs on the waves. There's no debuff for the boss. This Syl I've showcased in Eternal Dragon, so there's enough resistance on Syl for Eternal Dragon, but it's not really important for this boss at all. And obviously, good HP and defense will keep Syl tanky and able to survive any stray hits. So that's the same Syl build I've shown many times before in other videos. No real changes. Obviously, all the skills are booked out. And in terms of masteries, I use this on my Syl. It's been the same build I've used the entire time I've had her. So it's the same build I used to solo Faction War 21 when I did it initially. It's the same build for all of Doom Tower. So it's just a very versatile build for Syl in Relentless. Rector Drath is actually currently built for Bommel and Hydra, so the stats are beyond what you need. It's a bit quicker than you need for this boss. Really anything above sort of 225 is fine. Stack decent amount of HP. I could have gone for more accuracy and used Rector Drath as a decreased attack champion, but like I said, my resistance is there for Bommel and Hydra. Again, you don't need this resistance for this boss. The skills are booked out, and in terms of masteries, Rector's actually in a bit of an arena style mastery build, as I originally ranked her up to 60 with an arena defense in mind, but then pulled Duchess and never ended up using Rector Drath in arena defense. But still, in that kind of build, it's worked fine for all the content I've wanted to use. If we go to Husk, we take a look at the stats. Speed, like I said, anything around sort of 220 to 230 is good for this boss. Beyond that, enough accuracy to be landing the debuffs, particularly the provoke, and then just damage stats. The skills are booked out. Masteries are done in Helm Smasher. Originally, I built Husk with kind of wave clear in mind as a carry within the HP secret room. So I wanted Husk to be my main damage dealer for that, so I went for Helm Smasher. With Hydra out now, I'll probably consider changing this in time, but I haven't settled on a final build yet, so I will save the respec until I have a final build in mind. On to Jareg. Total stats, again around that 220-230 speed that I like. Good defensive stats, enough accuracy to be landing the debuff. A very similar build that I used in Eternal Dragon. I think for Eternal Dragon though you need faster to go before that boss. It's above 250 speed, but for this particular boss the speed requirements aren't nearly as high, and this build works perfectly well. The skills are booked, and in terms of masteries, the key ones, Sniper, Master Hexer, and War Master. This is very much the route I would say take Jareg for Doom Tower. And then Sentinel, we've gone for good effective HP with a good HP pool and a good defense pool. Enough speed for this boss, so around that 220 to 230 speed area. 100% crit, because to get the provoke to land you need 100% crit, a little bit like an Armiger and Allure. The debuff on the A1 is contingent upon critting, and enough accuracy to be landing that debuff. The skill is booked, as you can see. It becomes an 85% chance to land a provoke for one turn if the A1 is a crit. 85% in raid means it's not going to land all the time, as you saw. The passive is also pretty nice. He gets an inbuilt regen set where the champion heals by 10% at the start of each turn. And also a good champion for in DT3, the rare HP secret room, and the Force HP secret room. So, an underrated champion all-round Sentinel. It's got a good AoE hit on the A2 that scales off attack, so you can actually get a bit of damage out of him if you build him in that way. And then obviously the A1 with a provoke. So he's a good kind of CC champion that kind of takes care of himself slightly with the passive. In terms of masteries, I went down to War Master. I actually went for Blade Disciple for the extra attack, as I originally built him for that HP secret room, and I wanted him to be my main damage dealer when I first cleared it. So I went War Master and I went attack instead of crit rate because it has a higher point value based on his base attack, which is very low. And I haven't actually decided what I want the rest of his build to be, so it's currently undone. And that is everything. In case you're wondering what team I used to achieve my fastest clear and fewest turn counts, if we go through to the best teams and we scroll down a little bit because I'm not quite at the top, I am down at 18th. So this is the team I use. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, Warchief is the absolute god of Scarab in terms of provoke champions, maintains it 100% of the time by himself without even being booked. So it's perfect, like amazing for it. And then otherwise I had two max enemy HP champions in Reflex, an ally attacker to try and help keep decrease defense on from either Leoris or most likely Royal Guard, and Leoris for the wave clear. It could be tweaked further. I probably could get a bit higher on the turn count leaderboard, but I think I'd need to invest in specific champions. Like if you look higher up, people are typically running Draco or Kutraxa, Little Miss Annie, Fushan, these kind of champions. The one closest to mine would be Gremlin Boy here, which is two max enemy HP champions, a War Chief, a Wave Clear, and an AoE drop defense and weaken. So right then, thanks for watching. I hope this has been useful for you. Please like, comment and subscribe. Any feedback is always welcome. And good luck clearing this boss in the next DT rotation, which will be Eternal Dragon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.